We do have Jared Kunkle. He's one of the owners of Triple J Repairs. Good morning, Jared.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm really good. Jim Jones with us as well. He's the man of the hour. He's the star. He's the guy who fixes it. How are you, Jim?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. Jared, remind us about Triple J Repairs and what it's all about.
So Triple J started about a year ago. We're almost up to a year, I guess, for the anniversary. Jim's been doing it for a long time. We kind of decided to partner up with the repair shop. He's done a lot of stuff for me previously and a lot of people in the area, and we built a new shop. This is our second year in the shop, I think, or about to complete. I think our first, a little over a year that we've had this, and we've got the space and kind of got the room to work on stuff and have some other people that work with us on other stuff we're involved in too, to kind of lend a hand when needed. So we just thought it'd be a good partnership to join up and start.
Okay. Jim, tell us about the types of repairs that you're involved with.
Really, it's pretty vast. Lawn and garden, this time of the year, snow blowers, side-by-sides, come spring, air conditioning, tractors. I mean, it's almost endless, actually. A lot of experience. There's a lot of possibilities for, customers to come in and have the repairs done.
Yeah. And you typically, with these different types of repairs that you do, let's talk about what's usually wrong with stuff. It just doesn't work. Like a snowblower. You go out when you need it, the darn thing won't start.
Lack of maintenance.
Lack of maintenance, okay. You mean it's sitting in the shed for 364 days?
Yes.
Wasn't a good idea.
Horrible idea.
The fuel and the carburetor's not so good anymore.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Ethanol it can be an issue when, something sits.
Sure.
Yes, it breaks down, and ultimately, you get to repair the fuel system, and that all requires money.
Yes, it does. So lack of maintenance is what you see typically with something like a snowblower.
Mainly, yes.
Yeah.
Lack of use.
Or
honestly.
Lack of use. Thank you. That's a much better way to say it, right? All right. What other types of problems do you see typically with the equipment?
Really just basically another set of eyes to see, hear, feel things that may be wrong that the customer, it's a gradual thing they don't notice until it does go wrong, and then you have to be the one to diagnose.
Sure.
And just go at it at that point.
Where are you located at, Jim?
Just east of Cameron. Or excuse me, just east of Monmouth.
Yep, right in between. Yeah, right in between Monmouth and Cameron.
Okay.
We're about 3.5 miles straight east of Bruce Foot Chevy.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. And do you typically pick up, or do people drop it off? How does that work?
Either way, whatever works for the customer, honestly. We can pick up, deliver. If they're willing to do that, that's, whatever it takes.
Okay. So side by side, you talked about AC. Is that typically in a vehicle?
In tractors. I mean, the semis. Tractors? Yeah. He's redone all 4 of our semis.
Okay,
the
and
air
the
conditioning
semis.
system.
Okay.
I mean, he'll charge tractors, quite a bit of that AC work stuff. 2 cars if that's come along, but I would say it's mostly tractors and semis that we have done so far.
Okay, chainsaws.
Yep.
You do chainsaws. Do you have a favorite that you just like to tinker around and work on?
Still products, they're my favorite.
Pretty good product too.
Oh, they're a great product.
At least that's what Steve tells us at People's.
Oh yeah.
They're good.
But once again, it all comes down to the fuel that you use. Being conscious of, the possibilities that here you're going to let it sit for 6 months. You may or may not get it running. It's just one of those things. But still, products. It's a great product.
Okay.
We have that problem just on the farm with chainsaws. We don't use them, and then, we put them away. We don't even think about, we'll get them out again, and then we don't for 6 months. And it's like, that's not starting. What's going on with that? So it usually ends up on Jim's bench.
Right.
But leaf blowers, same thing. For us, like farm-wise too, using them quite a bit in the fall, blow combines off, things like that. But they just don't get used, throughout the year. Not like a McVeigh Landscaping that's using them daily,
Right.
for 6-7 months.
Well, this time of the year, the generators as well. You know, people go out and try and fire up a generator, and it doesn't want to run simply because there you go, the fuel. So yeah, people need to be aware of that, and we would be a good place to bring the equipment and let us check it out.
Yeah, it's like anything. You need to have it maintained,
Yes.
whether it needs an oil change or the plugs or the, belts, hoses, all that stuff, like you do for a vehicle, you want to do for your small equipment as well.
Yes.
And we just
Okay.
noticed too. I mean, like for personal, I mean, my parents have moved over this direction, and so my dad does all the mowing and likes to do the mowing. Well, sometimes he uses the mower as a wood chipper, as well. So like, it'll be things like that to where, we need to sharpen the blades a little more often, or leveling the deck too. I didn't even know that was, as much of a thing until starting to work with Jim, how important that is, to have a nice yard. To the bogey wheels, the things, I guess they're not called, that's on a tractor, but gauge
Yep.
wheels.
Yep.
Just things like that get bent with everyday use that Jim just goes through it with a fine-tooth comb, and yeah, things don't come
yeah.
back because of something missed.
Yours is a wood chipper. Sometimes mine is, what pet toy did I just
Right.
run over or bone got stuck in the lawnmower blade?
Yeah.
How was that even there? Yeah. Dogs. Okay. So snow blowers, side-by-sides, tractors, semis, chainsaws, generators, lawn mowers. Is there anything you can't work on?
I'm certainly limited, but I've been doing it a long time.
You sure have. Do you like the electric version of things now, or do you still prefer the gas-powered?
Electric is good.
Uh-huh.
It's not as affordable.
Sure. Is it easy to work on?
I don't have to work on the electric side
Uh-huh.
of it, so I prefer the gas.
Yeah.
But, it depends on the individual.
The battery
What-
doesn't last, though, when you leave it in the garage all winter.
Right.
You can tell I've made a few mistakes here and there, but that's okay. So tell us a little bit about you, Jim. How long you been doing this, and where and what?
35 years I've been a mechanic, going on 36. I went out to Wyoming Tech in '89, graduated from the diesel program, started on semis, was a big Cummins engine rebuilder in Champaign-Urbana. Been with semis up until like 2000, and then I went over into ag. And there I got with John Deere and did a lot of setup on combines and the four-wheel drives, repairs, and then over into the lawn and garden. I was doing that on the side.
Gotcha.
And basically 9 years ago, decided to go on my own.
Gotcha.
And then just a year ago, getting on board with Jared, which that was a great move.
Yeah, sounds like it. Good folks there at Triple J Repairs, and it's so good to have someone like you because, golly, how you got to get stuff fixed, repaired.
I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, we so thankful for you, Jared. Triple J Repairs 1 year anniversary, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
What's a phone number? How do people get a hold of you?
Mine is 309-299-6998, and Jim's is
309-337-3226.
and really either one of us can reach out to and discuss. I mean, Jim does service calls all the time, and that's one thing too. I guess I want to mention, for people, we try to source parts, as much as we can around here. We've starting to get set up with somebody around here that can source parts for us that it seems quite a bit cheaper on parts. Just to give you an example, like a fuel pump for a Polaris Ranger, $450 at a Polaris dealership. It was $60, I believe, or $70 that got it for, and it's the same fuel pump. Just for myself, belts for a combine, ordering it through this supplier instead of going to, Deere was $260. That took me 5 minutes to price check. So, and those are things that we're still buying from somebody local that has a dealership with. It's actually a company that Deere owns.
Go figure.
But
yeah.
it's $260 on a, took me 5 minutes. So there's a lot of savings there that can be had to get still parts that are good,
Okay.
that are quality parts. But there's a lot that can be had by that. So that's where, we're trying to focus on that and take a little bit more time to find those parts, for people that are still good parts. It's not like, we're buying some cheap part. It's, it's you couldn't tell the difference if you put them side by side.
Well, and savings is key right now. We have an
Correct.
economic challenge going on for everybody. So,
Yep.
how are things on the farm, Jared?
They're fine. Yeah, just when Jim has a free moment, he's working on the combine, inspecting it and going through, and finding stuff there. But yeah, things kind of got cold and snowy and shut down things in a hurry. And
Did you have everything done that you needed to get done?
I did field work wise. Yeah,
Okay.
There's some field improvements that I still need to go.
Okay.
I don't really enjoy sitting on a bulldozer when it's below freezing
Right.
without a cab. So I'm kind of
Right.
weak like that. But plus the ground, is not, in shape for that. But yeah, no, I was able to. There's a lot of fertilizer that got put on, both dry fertilizer and anhydrous ammonia. A lot of the dealers or retailers, I would say, got to the end point or really close to it.
Okay.
So I think we're in a good position heading into the spring season. Hopefully we get more moisture to refill the ground because it was dry. This is the first time, as I guess we also co-own a cemetery, and this is the first time it was dry all the way, and digging. And so that's the first time we've seen that was this fall. Usually you found moisture 3-4 foot down, but there was none. So hopefully we get, like I said, more moisture and it slowly gets into the ground and we can kind of get back to square one on that.
You feel like this snowfall and maybe the snow melt today is going to really help with that moisture penetration?
I would say it's going to help, but I would say we need quite a bit more in the slower fashion. I'm not encouraging a 5 or 6 inch rain.
Right. And talk a little bit about, and maybe you don't know, but the news today is really, really, really interesting. Of course, we had the ILFB thing over the weekend. You're the past Farm Bureau president, but, President Trump making some pretty big announcements about checks going out as a bridge for farmers. How do you feel about that being a farmer?
So it's funny you said that because I just got a text about that from a client of ours, the farm we manage. But my feeling is it's a Band-Aid. It's not a solution, and hopefully getting more markets and being able to sell our product. And at the same time, the input costs aren't going down. So that's an issue for us, I guess, because with the price of grain and inputs, there's not a lot of money to be made in farming right now. So again, this payment, I feel like helps, but it also just delays because at the end of the day, we need inputs. The cost of equipment is crazy. It is very expensive, and it's expensive to maintain. So that's why we've really started searching for alternatives on parts because, like for me I had an issue with electronic that needed a computer for me to have them come out for 2 hours, it was $625. So that's, that adds up. And that was a $225 service call that I wasn't aware of to come 3.5 miles, where I could have thrown it on a semi-low boy and hauled it to him, for cheaper, because it was just sitting at our shop. So those are the types of things that I guess we're trying to hone in on too for some of that. And I think farms need to do that as well. It's just everything's expensive.
Okay. And then you and Jimmy will be in soon. We'll talk cemetery.
Yeah.
How are things at the cemetery? Pretty good?
It's no, it's good. We're just getting the decor put out for the winter stuff, and people are sending in for what they want on grave spaces. And with the snow, it's a little difficult to find, certain ones, but just trying to keep up on that, moving forward. And yeah, it's going well.
Good. Well, I look forward to talking to you and Jimmy about that in the future of the long-standing, been around here a long time, that cemetery. So we'll talk more about that. Glad things are good on the farm. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Jim, I'm wishing you a happy holiday too, and glad to know that you have a repair shop right here locally that folks can go to. Again, the telephone numbers are 309-299-6998 and 309-337-3226. And anything online? Can people find you online to send a message?
No, not right now.
That's all right.
Getting older. I need to get my kids involved in that.
No worries. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here. Anything else you want people to know?
I would just say, too, for farmers, just planter maintenance and stuff, too. Tommy Rayburn works with us out there in the shop, too, and he tore apart my planter, I guess both the bean and corn planter, just a lot of those wear items that need done. That's something we can do as well. Just let us know.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim Jones with us, mechanic with the repair shop, Triple J Repairs, and Jared Kunkle,